Another day, another dollar. It's O.T.G. O.T.G. Daily News. Overtime grind. I'm O.T.G. So, we here right now, man. it's early in the morning. I've been up getting everything ready, I print merchandise, shirts, hats, mugs, decals, the whole 9 yards, you know what I mean? I hope y'all can see me because I'm not about to re-record it. Normally, I don't really record from this angle. My green screen's right there. I do it on a green screen. If you want, people always asking me about my setup. Here's my heat press right here. I got a printer right there. I got a vinyl cutter. Got a MacBook. Got a Windows laptop. Got a Windows tablet. Got my iPad. My Pixel. But I just want to come and chop it up with you for a second about Joe Biden winning. I see a lot of people excited and happy and dancing and a lot of different things. I seen guys waking up this morning crying and all kinds of craziness, you know what I mean? And it's a little strange. It's just everything about this is weird. You know what I mean? I see so many people speaking out about it. And people want to call you Trump supporters and all this other stuff. Man, if that's what you think, then that's just what you think. But, I think that a lot of this is just really kind of strange how it's going down. I think maybe people are celebrating way too early, I see a whole lot of celebration, and if you remember back in 2000, a lot of y'all was young, you might not remember in 2000, I don't think they called the true election results till December. It was like December 12th or 14th or something. You know what I mean? That's how everybody thought that one guy won and then found out the other guy had won, and that's kind of how that worked out because of the recount in Florida. So, Trump is still the president for 70 plus days. But the weirdness of it all is just, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up. Number one weird thing is, everybody's out celebrating, all this time, they was saying all these things about COVID and people being closed and this and that, and they couldn't do it. Everything looked perfectly orchestrated when we were talking about the Democratic campaigns, and they was talking about the other guy and how his campaign was going and people being closed, and they call them super COVID parties. But then all of a sudden today, it's like all that went out the window. You watching the convention and the speeches, everybody sitting next to each other. You see the parties, everybody's partying up and down the street. Everybody's close. Notre Dame wins, people crowd in the field, so it's either one or two things. Either it's not as big as they say it is, and that was just a promotional tool to try to maneuver one guy out of the office, and maybe the numbers not as real as they say it is because it was a whole lot of talk about that, or a whole lot of people are about to be sick, and it's about to be a really, really bad situation in the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, because a lot of people, yesterday, well, today is Sunday, so Friday they said was one of the deadliest days in the United States with 3,000 plus people dying in one day from the situation. I don't really like saying it a lot because, I don't really want to get my videos flagged. So with that, it's just really kind of weird and strange how that's one thing that's strange. The second thing that's strange about all this is how all year this whole thing seemed like it was prepped up. You know what I mean? Like, one side was really pushing for extreme lockdowns, and then early on it was, we're going to do this voting process, and then we're going to do something that America's never done before. And then it was all this pushing for different laws and different things for these mail-in ballots to be accepted later than normal, and now we here, and again everybody's outside like it's no problem. So it kind of makes you wonder, where did the threat go, or was the threat made? Was the threat pushed to be more important? And if it was, then how about all those people who lost their jobs, and all the people sitting at home, all the businesses that closed? And, you know, when I see all these black people out here celebrating, it makes me wonder, well, what happens if somebody, we run into a situation with police brutality again under the next administration, because we will, you know what I mean? And how are we going to handle that? Because the way that we're acting right now is that the world changed, you know what I mean? Like, everything got different, everything's going to be better, it's the end of everything. I hear people saying, man, I could sleep good at night. I seen Van Jones crying, saying it's easier to be a parent now. I see all of these things that people are saying, but I wonder what happened to the way people. I just am wondering, what do people really think is going to go forward, going to happen going forward? You know what I mean? Like, I can't really see it. You know what I'm saying? And then, what happens when you have a BLM march? What happens when the suppression works a different way? Because I'm hearing a lot of guys, even myself, I notice if you say certain things as a black person on social media, that these big giant tech companies are suppressing what you say. Now, we just sitting here talking. It's not like we out here campaigning a different way and trying to stop things another way or do this or that. But when you talk about police brutality so much, you get shadow banned, and you don't really get any algorithm to those videos. When you talk about suppression of what you're trying to say and freedom of speech, you don't really get algorithm to those videos. Like, everything changes, everything drops, everything just switches around. You might not be able to get advertising. So, it makes you kind of wonder, is all this orchestrated? And if that's orchestrated, what's next? I hear a lot of people saying that they think that all of this was to get Kamala Harris in as the first female president. And, each election we hear a whole lot of different conspiracy theories, you know what I mean? But my advice in this is not to get too happy, not to get too sad, not to go outside and put your life on the line, dancing around, doing a bunch of other stuff, but to be smart and just really wait and see how this thing's going to play out, and then keep working. You know what I mean? Like, get you a recession-proof business. That's something you have to consider, I started YouTubing because of it, because it makes sense. Like, I'm in the music business, from working with Beanie Siegel and working with Tone Trump and working with DJ Damage and working with all these different guys and building up different things for them and teaching them how to utilize certain things to get more exposure. I never really did it for myself. So it makes sense now that I got all the time and I got all the equipment to sit here and do exactly what I'm doing. But this isn't the only thing that I'm dependent on. I'm a producer as well. So if you go through my channel, I got a bunch. If you go click the playlist, I got over 160 beats over there, and I'm constantly making new beats. I got machine tutorials coming on the way, Ableton tutorials coming on the way, Reason tutorials coming on the way, Spire tutorials coming on the way. We got a bunch of different things on the way, like I said. So I say that to say, you just got to have a recession-proof business. All of this is stuff that I run from my house. My kids can help. Their mother can help. And we can get it all done without having to leave. We can run the website, do social media, run the YouTube. It's something we could do just in case we locked inside for another 6 months or 8 months, which is the way today went and the way today is looking. And if something happens where this goes a different way, or if, at any given moment, God forbid, the old man decides he's got dementia or got to step down and everything shifts another way, yo, we're going to be in forever. And I don't know if you guys tweet or watch Twitter, but I definitely seen Bill Gates super excited with the Birdman hand rub, already ready to give these vaccines. You know what I mean? Super excited to work with the new the new administration and get back to science, which means it's a kickback. You know what I mean? And I don't know who that's going to affect. So I understand a lot of people feel one way or another, but at the end of the day, man, this is where what you believe in comes in. What you believe in comes into play, because if you believe that out of all of these presidents, everything is going to change right now, you got another thing coming. And it's not for everybody to believe. There's going to be people with a video who's like, oh man, you're just a Trump supporter. I'm not. You know what I mean? But I'm not excited for more police on the streets. That's for sure. I'm definitely not excited for that. And that's guaranteed what they said is going to happen. I'm not excited for forced vaccines to go back to work or for my kids to go to school. I'm not really excited about that neither. And I'm not saying that's what they said, but that's the way they talk. And I'm not really ready or wanting that neither. I don't really know how this is going to help people who look like me and people who are looking for jobs and doing different things right now in this type of climate. I'm not really understanding what we're going to get for using our power to make somebody win. I'm not really feeling already the lies that's being told. This guy got more votes than Barack Obama. Like, picture that with a Kodak. I can't even see that. You know what I mean? I don't know if you could see that. But somehow, most of the young white people voted for Trump. Older and white women voted for Trump. It's only 50 million black Americans, and you're telling me that so many of us voted for Joe Biden and gave him more votes than Barack Obama got, and white people really didn't vote for him in herds. I don't really foresee that or think that's the truth. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things I'm not feeling already. It's already a campaign attacking black men, saying they didn't like how the rappers acted and this, that, and the third, but the majority of rappers came out endorsing Joe Biden. So, you know, I don't know how relevant BLM is really going to be, or Antifa, or any of those things, because now if they exist, then it looks like we chose the wrong guy, because partly of how they got so rampant and got so big is because they were being allegedly suppressed by Donald Trump. You know, BLM started under Barack Obama, but at that time, you know, it was a whole different thing. It was more of a hashtag, and people used the hashtag to bring exposure to whatever was going on. By the time Donald Trump got in office, it became a movement because they felt like the racism was happening because he was the president and he wasn't saying or doing anything about it. Well, now we overwhelmingly voted for this guy, and we got all of these tears and all of this dancing and all of this partying in the streets, feeling like he's the answer. And we got this woman in there, first black vice president. I think I said it right the first time, but we're going to go with what the title is, vice president. Now we're supposed to be all good. So I don't know how this is going to play out when it seems like seemingly white people lost. And if you believe all those people was racist, then that's a naive thought in itself. But if you think all of those people was racist, then you should be more prepared for what's going to go on every single day. You should be more prepared for how people are going to treat you. You should be more aware of police brutality and how things are going to go, because that means the majority is upset with the minority because they took a loss. And the minority is dancing in the streets and basically rubbing the laws in their face. But for the next 4 years, because we don't really have ownership in anything, we don't have too much of anything, and we didn't negotiate properly to get anything for our vote, that means for the next 4 years, it's about to be real tough. It's about to be tough on us getting jobs. It's about to be tough on us when we go to court. It's going to be tough on us when we go in the bank. It's going to be tough on us when we're trying to do small business and different kind of businesses, because that passive aggressive anger is going to come out and start dominating, just how it did with Barack Obama. So think about how many people, how many black men got killed by the police under Barack Obama, and then it was less with Donald Trump, because that side of people was happier with who they chose. They felt like he knew money and he was going to get the money right. So now that the guy who's allegedly supposed to get the money right is out of the picture, now we back to this, alleged for the people type party. Them guys not happy, and they're going to take it out passive aggressively, and it's going to hit your pockets. For a lot of different entrepreneurs, essentially a lot of people feel like black people now, we at the back of the bus again. You know what I mean? This party and this campaign was ran on the alphabet guys, making sure they was taking care of women's rights, to make sure they could still have abortions and different things of that nature. But allegedly health care for everyone, which might not be the best, because now Band-Aid's going to cost, you go to a doctor and they have the incentive and think everything's going to be paid for. You're not paying for it. A bigger company is paying for it. They might charge it up now. You know what I'm saying? So, and essentially, who's going to have to pay that off? We are. This high tax rate that everybody's like, well, you don't make over $400,000. Why do you care? Well, the people who do make $400,000, when they have to pay that much in taxes, the first place they're going to make cuts at to try to save money or not pay that much is in their workforce and things that they buy, and a lot of that's going to affect us at the bottom. So a lot of this trickle-down economics, you know what I mean, is really going to affect your bottom line and affect what you're trying to do over the next couple of years. The FICO rating changes from FICO 8 to FICO 10 and FICO 24 the first day of January. So a lot of people who just now getting their credit score up in the last 8 months, you're going to find it hard to try to get accepted for things, because now that 8 months turns to 10 months and 24 months. And that 24 month snapshot is going to be real crazy, because it's going to show your spending habits and what your credit was prior to the pandemic, and then where you're at now. So if you're not over a 650, you're going to have a long way to climb and a long way to try to prove that you're doing the right things, and that might take you a year. So now we're talking a year into this next administration, and how do we know how much money is going to be available? A lot of money's about to go to these programs that line different people's pockets. We went from a non-politician to a politician. So now we back in the game. We back working with China. We back working and trying to be friends with all these different countries. You know what I mean? And this whole thing just seems weird. It seems strange. So my advice, we just seen King Von still murdered. There's no talk about that. Everybody forgot about that. We still seeing our community is not going to change. It's still set up the same. And I just want you guys to not be as focused on who is at the top and waiting for somebody to give you a handout, and start figuring out ways to get it on your own, because I don't want you to get left. I just don't want you to get left. I don't want your kids out here getting left. I think it's time now, while we got the time, we start embedding in our kids and raising our kids and teaching them different things and getting them prepared. I think that we educate ourselves on history and different things. I don't really know how the next 4 years are going to go. But what I do know is for most of my life the president never mattered, because my experience where I'm at is way different than everybody else's experience. And just like this last campaign, they didn't promote, they didn't campaign, they didn't say anything for me. I don't exist in their eyes. They get 2 Chainz and Jeezy and Freeway and have them rap a verse of a song, and black men, they check the black man box. You know what I'm saying? For everybody else, they just utilize TV and fear and got them going. So, and this campaign don't really got the best history with black people. You know what I mean? Or black men, black men specifically. Kamala Harris, she don't got a good reputation with how she judged black men. Biden, we already know his reputation is terrible when it comes to black men. And even though people say it's years ago, or maybe those people needed to be in prison, yeah, some of them did. But what we do know about the police is that they arrest a lot of people who are innocent. What we do know about our justice system is that there's hundreds of thousands of people probably locked in prison who don't deserve to be there, or they should have been free a very, very, very long time ago. We're not saying everybody was innocent, but what we are saying is the facts that's documented, that it disproportionately jailed black men, it disproportionately over-sentenced black men, it disproportionately affected the black community and the nuclear black family. She disproportionately over-sentenced black men and kept them in prison longer than they should. So, as black men, we shouldn't really be out here celebrating, because we celebrating our demise. We don't have anything promised to us. We don't have anything campaigned for us. We don't have any promises. We don't have anything talking about jobs, money, COVID relief, anything of that nature. A lot of people's unemployment is about to run out in the next 5 to 6 weeks. The stimulus been pushed back, if we even get it now. You know, there's been a whole lot of playing the people's emotions, our black people emotions, while we still sit out here and suffer. And so what it seems like what we got out of this is a sticker and some TV time, and maybe hit by the pandemic, the way we outside partying and hugging on all kinds of people, acting like we did something. I heard people say we saved the world. We saved America again. Well, how many times you want to save America and not get anything? I've heard people say, oh yeah, we're going to hold them accountable now. That doesn't really make sense when you gave up all the power first and they already got what they wanted. You should have negotiated first and then use your power to get them in there, so now you can hold them accountable to promises and things they said. All that was said is, we'll work with community leaders to try to come up with the best thing. Well, last time I checked, most black people don't respect don't respect black men, and there's not too many community leaders out there who are making any noise, other than the guys who's out here saying they with this Black Lives Matter movement, which wants to remove black men from the nucleus of the family and make it about everybody else having children and how they do it. So I don't really know if these community leaders they're going to talk to actually have our best interests in mind, because I know the kind of guy I am. I work 24/7. I'm overtime grind. I'm outside all the time. I'm easily accessible. I got 20,000 plus people on Instagram, 6,000 plus on Twitter. If I combine all my Twitters, maybe 10,000 people. All my Facebooks, probably 30,000 people. If you add all that together, I have access to a lot of people in this Philadelphia, Jersey, Delaware region, other than one local minister. I don't really know who they would come and talk to as a community leader who's in touch with the needs and the wants of the people in Philadelphia who work every day. So I don't really understand how that's going to work. And I don't really understand how people feel like they're going to hold them accountable. Like, you're going to end up calling the phone, and you know how you get the message where it be like, the customer you have called has not set up a voicemail yet. Goodbye. That's what I feel like people going to get. So with that, I just want to be one of the few voices on here telling you to remain calm, one of the few voices on here not to jump to conclusions, one of the few voices to tell you don't go out doing anything stupid because things have changed, one of the few voices that says maybe we're in a 4K chess game, you know what I mean? Super high definition and we don't really even know it, you know what I mean? One of the few people to tell you watch these next couple moves, start planning and executing now, start teaching your kids something they can learn now, spend time and appreciate time with your kids now, because you might have to look at your time differently and how you're going to do it. You know, these guys have been campaigning on the back of getting this under control, and that's really it. Making sure so-and-so got rights, these guys got rights, and getting the pandemic under control. That's basically their 4-year plan. And if that's the case, how long are they going to hold this thing out? You know, I feel like this is something that is killing small business all around the United States. So many different small businesses has closed. You know, when you think about the day before the election, how they went out and boarded everything up with the expectation that black people was going to go out here and tear things up. You know what I mean? So it seemed like it was already a plan and people was in play for destruction. But now that it's went a different way, you don't see any of that, which makes you kind of question the news who was saying that there's all these militia groups and these people and that people out here ready to do things, because the majority of them voted and their guy lost. So I would assume that they're very upset and they want to take to the streets. So at all the BLM marches, they was there, or where they at for their marches? I'm just a little confused. So I think that we might be getting played in a grand scheme, in a grand scale game. I think that at this point, the very most important thing you could do is not tag yourself to any of these movements, you know, and tag yourself to your family and work really hard. You know, part of having Donald Trump as president, a lot of people felt guilty for the ways that they did things, and there was just no room for them to ignore it because he is who he is. So we had a bigger voice on certain topics and certain issues, and I think all that's about to go out the window because we got a placeholder now, and essentially that person represents all nationalities, Indian, black, and white. You know what I mean? Not all nationalities, but different levels of people of color. So I feel like the way we're celebrating might make any complaint that we have going forward invalid, and we will look like hypocrites running out saying that, oh, look at them, they're this and they're that now. Like when people was trying to tell you, you was jumping down people's throat. So I feel like now we kind of put ourselves in a further box, and I just really want everybody to be safe. I want people to be conscious of the things that I'm saying. You know, a lot of people will tell you things are crazy and they're not real, and people are supporting the other person. I'm telling you out my mouth, I don't like or really mess with either one of them. Therefore, I can see a full picture in clarity because it's about my needs, my family's needs, and who gives the best. And neither one of them give anything towards me. And so, and my 2 kids and what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, stay safe out here, man. Stay safe. Stay in the house. Stay out the way. You know, make a plan. Get your business together. Spend time with the fam. Spend time with yourself. Read some books. And I don't think this thing is over, man. I think it's a long way from over. Guy's still the president. He got a lot of money. There's a lot of upset people out there. You know what I mean? The Supreme Court is stacked in his favor, and people are doing what you're never supposed to do. You're never supposed to celebrate early. All the votes ain't counted, so they never put out a full final number for the count of the votes. It's a shaky, weird situation that I don't think people should be celebrating in an extremely celebratory and happy and thinking that we're in a new day. I also want people to think about how are you going to hold these guys accountable? Are you going to go 4 years and then go through another terrible 4 years and your accountability is voting them out? I don't really understand how people think. I just see so many people saying, all right, now we got Trump out of office. Now we get to work. How? You had these town halls for people to say what they wanted and say what their issues was and say what they wanted from this administration. Ain't no more town halls, good brother. Ain't no more campaigning going city to city to talk to people with the intent of having to listen to them because you need them to make you win or get in office. You already won. So if you don't want to hear it, guess what? You not listening. If you say it's not real and you the president, then boom, they just going to say it's not real. I have a feeling suppression is on the way, and once something happens and people start saying they're unhappy and unrest comes, suppression comes, people feel like their voice is being pushed back. People feel like, oh man, I did all this voting and did all this and put all my hope into this. I got rid of my brother. I got rid of my girl. I cussed my mom out. I did all this and we still here. And we being suppressed and can't talk about it. And people are going straight to jail and they being held there. I think we're in a situation that's bound to drown. You know what I mean? And everybody says just have hope. Look at me. Is it smart for me to have hope in a system that's always been doing me wrong? Or should it be smart to be prepared for the same thing to happen again? So my kids can't eat no hope. I can't eat no hope. I got faith in God. But hope, I gotta work. And you gotta work too. And you gotta have expectations. And you gotta expect things for your work, and you gotta have a voice when you're unhappy with things that don't pay you. And so I feel like right now what you're seeing is so many black men coming out saying they're unhappy because they have a voice, and they just documenting this moment in time, just like the Jussie Smollett situation. We was trying to tell y'all that something don't smell right, something don't feel right. But everybody was so convinced that people wanted to be a hater and discount this guy one way or another because of whatever he affiliates with, just to find out that everything we told you was the truth. So that's my point. That's how I feel. Make sure, like I said, these videos are getting suppressed and pushed back. So if you like what I'm saying, if you think what I'm saying is a good talk point, if I cover some things that you want to do, please make sure you share. Smash that like button. Click the notification bell. Click all so you can see all the videos. We're ramping up. There's more videos coming. I'm going to start doing videos daily. I'm just start showing you more behind the scenes and all the different work and how I became O.T.G. You're going to get this social commentary. The news site, I purposely, a lot of people been DMing me about the news and hitting me on my Instagram and Twitter at Brother O.T.G. asking me why OTGdaily.news. I haven't posted any stories, and it's because during this election thing, a lot of people's blogs were getting taken down. They were being shadow banned because people were doing fact checking and things you share that social media might get your page taken down. I just decided to wait it out until after Thanksgiving to start posting on that blog again. So it's there. Now I'm just doing video news. Soon I'll be doing news there again. There's over 11,000 stories, 1 million plus views, 100% independent. I own it. I've had it for 11 years. There's 11 years worth of content on there. All kinds of things. And there'll be another 11 years of stuff on there because that's what we do. We do this for the people. We do it for the working class people every day. That's who I represent. That's why I'm overtime grind. That's why it's O.T.G. I'm a blue-collar worker. I represent the people who get up every single day and go to work. I represent the people who get up and just try and take care of their family and survive in America and marry their wife and go on vacations and buy their kids nice things and pay for them to go to school and want them to be treated fairly because they go out and they provide their service to this country, their city, their county, themselves, their family every single day. That's what Overtime Grind is, a representative of the people, an independent voice for black people and other people who work, and it'll always remain that. So make sure you come back for social commentary. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Let me know if you don't agree. Like, you can even dislike. You can share. Make sure you subscribe, though. That's very important. And hit the bell. Sharing, commenting, and subscribing and hitting the notification bell are the most important things you could do to let somebody know that you like their channel and you like their content. And from there, we'll start doing live chats. I might do them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I got OBS. I'm just looking into how I want to do it and getting everything designed. So again, it's O.T.G. Thanks, man. Get out them streets, bro. Get out them streets dancing around, crying and shit for these white men. You know what I mean? You're not crying for the country. You're not crying for these white men. You're crying because you being manipulated by social media and how those things work. We saw social distancing. You saw it. I saw it. We saw it, bro. We saw how it worked. We saw how it manipulates your emotions and makes you feel some kind of way. We saw how aggressive it makes people be for the far left and the far right. You watched it, and now you out here letting it have you in tears dancing around, putting you and your family at risk in this pandemic for this old guy who didn't actually promise you anything, didn't actually say he was going to do anything. Just think about that, bro. Think about it, man. So teach.